Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's Roznama, the daily newspaper analysis. Now, it's a Sunday today, and mostly on Sundays, the newspaper is not very heavy for you all. So, in all probability, you will find today's session pretty interesting, short, concise, and crisp. All right. Now, the first piece of news, a very important one, do keep it in mind because it is a scheme that has been launched by the government. And again, the scheme aligns itself with the government's entire vision of laying more stress or greater stress on the manufacturing sector this year. And manufacturing sector, that is industries, etc., always gets a major push when infrastructure development is undertaken in the country. All right. So this particular scheme, which is known as the new Urban Challenge Fund, okay, Urban Challenge Fund has been proposed by the government, although the scheme was incepted last year itself. New allocation of money has been brought in this year, and they've given a more greater structure to the scheme this year. All right. So this particular scheme has been launched to naturally undertake infrastructure development in urban areas, in cities. Now, this particular scheme will work on a PPP model, public-private partnership model, and also this time naturally, mostly when it is a central sector scheme or it is a centrally sponsored scheme, the government tends to align a good chunk of money to it, as in the sense that mostly 60% by the central government, or 90% by the central government in terms of the northeastern states and the hilly states. But for this particular scheme, it is a total scheme of rupees 4 lakh crore, and out of this 1 lakh crore has been aligned by the center. Okay, the center is going to provide 1 lakh crore to this particular scheme. That is, it is going to cover 25% of the total project cost, and 50% of the cost out of this 4 lakh crore will be borne through market intervention. Okay, this is one thing that you have to keep in mind. Then the scheme is for next 5 years, so it mostly works from the financial year 2025-26 to the financial year 2030-31, and mostly the government targets schemes of 2 to 5 years and everything, and tends to not complete its set agenda. So just to keep that window with itself, the government has also outlined that this 5-year period does exist, but the scheme can be further extended to 2033-34. Okay, so do keep this also in mind. All right, so this is everything that you must keep in mind with respect to the scheme. All right, another important piece of news, again I just wanted to flag the Ganga Water Treaty for you all. And yesterday the Bangladesh elections were declared, where BNP, or the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, was declared as the winner. This particular party has warm understanding towards, or warm bent towards, India. So naturally, we are anticipating that relations between India and Bangladesh are going to take a better turn after BNP takes power or takes charge, comes into power or takes charge. And one major point of contention has been the Ganga Water Treaty, which was signed in 1996. It was a 30-year treaty. This year, 2026, the treaty is set to expire, and renegotiations in terms of renewal of the treaty is to be undertaken. All right. So do go through this article. It is important. Then another small piece of news, just wanted to flag for you all that the A.K. Ramanujan Prize has been announced, and this prize is basically given to people who are well adept in various languages and can undertake translation of works. All right. So this particular prize for translating into English the works of Dalit poet Kalyani Thakur Charal has been given to Shipra Mukherjee and Brinoy Pramanik from India. Okay, do keep their names in mind. Okay, then another important piece of news is the Panun plot, which resulted in the killing of a Khalistani Protestant, a Khalistani separatist in Canada, Gurpatwan Singh Panun in New York. Basically, he was shot dead, and then there were a lot of investigations that were undertaken into this entire case by US, and US has flagged that this particular person, Nikhil Gupta, who was arrested on charges of killing Gurpatwan Singh Panun, he has now pleaded guilty, and he said that yes, he was involved in the killing of this particular person, this particular Khalistani separatist. And also the US investigating agencies, they have drawn relations of Nikhil Gupta to India's Ministry of External Affairs, the Cabinet Secretariat, basically trying to draw contrasts and conclusions to the fact that maybe the Indian government was also involved in the killing of Pannoon. All right. Acha, just one more thing, that a term has been flagged here, Khalistani separatists. So Khalistan is a demand that was raised by the people of Punjab during independence also, and mostly after independence towards the 1960s, this demand intensified. And what is this demand? That the people of Punjab, they want to unite the state of Punjab that is found in India, and the state of Punjab that after partition fell in Pakistan's side. They want to unite the entire Punjab, both in India and Pakistan, and establish a separate state, a separate country along Punjab, Sikhism, along religious lines, to be known as Khalistan. All right. So from India, they were undertaking these separatist movement, which eventually resulted in a lot of terror activities in Punjab, naturally culminating into the assassination of our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And then there was massive curbing of these separatist tendencies in Punjab, after which a large number of these Khalistani Protestants, they left Punjab, went and settled in Canada, and they've been undertaking the Khalistani separatist movement from Canada. All right, Indian government has continuously pressed the Canadian government to not give support to such separatist tendencies from abroad, and negotiations are continuously undertaken between the two countries. Okay, so do keep an eye out for this particular movement also. Then another one, just wanted to flag that the finance minister has said that India now is spending 5.6% of the total GDP of the country to undertake projects, initiatives in order to combat climate change. All right, which and initially 6 years ago, when we actually started undertaking massive monetary commitments to combat climate change, our previous spending was around 3.7% of our total GDP. Now it has extended to increased to 5.6% of the total GDP. All right, an important part. Then today's editorials. The first one is on the new IT rules that have been brought in, the Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Data Media Ethics Code Amendment Rules of 2026. These rules were brought in 2021 and they've been amended in 2026. The need for their amendment rose from the fact that there are a lot of content on various social media platforms that is AI generated, and sometimes these contents naturally they result in very negative impacts on a large number of people who actually sift through such content. All right, so these guidelines, they are to be implemented or enforced from the 20th of February, and the government has issued guidelines as to that all people who use AI generated content, they have to label that so and so content is created through using artificial intelligence, and also if certain content can in any way impact people, any basic religious community, etc., in any manner which is negative, which is derogatory, it has to be removed from such platforms within 3 hours. Okay, so do go through this article. It is an important piece of article. The next piece of news again is related to the India-US trade deal, and what are the massive implications of the deal, and how is the agriculture sector going to be impacted from it, what is the conclusion over oil imports, what does the joint statement say. All right, so the deal just came into existence a week back, and here a week ago US had said that US is now reducing reciprocal tariffs on India from 25 to 18%, and absolutely striking off the 25% penalty tariff that was imposed on India because India was buying Russian oil. Okay, so now, as of now, we have 18% tariff, which was both the countries agreed to this fact that 18% tariff has been now imposed on India. Other than this, Donald Trump went out and about to issue statements like India has agreed to stop purchasing Russian oil, and instead India is going to purchase more energy items from Russia and in all probability from Venezuela as well. Okay. So India did not make any such statement that India is going to stop purchasing Russian oil. We did have a statement from the Russian external affairs minister who did say that he hopes and wishes that this new India-US trade deal does not negatively impact the Indian relations with Russia. So that was one thing. Then naturally there is confusion over oil imports, although in December it was seen that Russian oil imports into India had slipped to a 38-month low. And along with this, we've not actually said that we are going to, or have not basically shown major interest in oil imports from other countries. But just after the trade deal was signed, two major Indian oil companies, they have agreed to purchase or have signed deals of purchasing oil from Venezuela. That was one thing that you must keep in mind. Then agriculture has been one major problem with this thing. Although our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has continuously pitched in, saying things like India is going, no, the agriculture sector, the Indian farmers will not be affected. But the problem here is that India has promised zero tariffs on things like soybean, on things like cotton, on things like corn, which we are going to import from US, which can result, zero tariffs may result in US imported agricultural products being cheaper as compared to Indian agricultural products, which naturally is going to negatively impact the Indian farmers. Okay. So this is one thing. And also India agreed that India is going to purchase US goods about worth $500 billion over the next 5 years. What goods are these that India is going to purchase? There has been no mentioning of these goods. The second thing is the textile exports. Bangladesh textiles has been exempted from import duties in US. India is also trying to negotiate along similar lines, saying that on all the cotton that India imports from US and then undertakes manufacturing of textiles from the imported cotton and then eventually exports that textile product to US should be under zero tariff rates. But as of now, nothing such has been made into a formal statement by USA. We are still negotiating. Okay, so do go through this editorial. Then another one is P. Chidambaram's take on the entire trade deal and how he feels that maybe that India is the nonchalant response of the Indian government as to not disclosing the details of the trade agreement can actually come to impact India. Okay, so do go through this one also. Then another article, a good take on the inclusion of 6 stanza Vande Mataram into formal ceremonies now everywhere, and why is it was not adopted in its 6 stanza form during the time of independence. What were the religious issues with it? The article talks about it brilliantly. Do go through it. Coming to the news in brief for today, I just wanted to flag this term for you, the Cobra Battalion, which is Commando Battalion for Resolute Action. Okay, this Cobra Battalion is of CRPF. CRPF is an abbreviation, fully stands for Central Reserve Police Forces. These Central Reserve Police Forces are a branch of Central Armed Police Force, and they have been specifically trained to combat or root out Naxalism in the country. And this Naxalism, the government under Operation Sankalp has a target to root out Naxalism by 31st of March 2026. Naxalism is an internal security threat, thereby it is being tackled by the Home Ministry in India. Okay, the term is important, do keep it in mind. Okay, then another thing that I wanted to flag for you all is NEP, which is a new education policy brought in 2020, and this is the third education policy of India. This education policy seeks to bring about certain structural shifts into the entire education system of the country. Previously, we had a 10+2 curriculum system where classes 1 to 10 is 10 and +2 is 11th and 12th. Now, this has been moved to 5+3+3+4. 5 years of preschools, that is 3 plus classes 1 and 2, Then 3 is 3, 4, and 5. Then next 3 classes 6, 7, and 8, and 4 is classes 9 to 12. Also talks about increasing the country's total share of expenditure into the education sector from right now a meager 2% of the GDP to a total of 6% of the GDP. As of now, India's total share is 4.3%. Okay. Another thing that it renamed Ministry of Human Resource Development to Ministry of Education now in 2020. Okay, and also seeks to integrate new types of curriculums and learning spheres like AI, robotics, etc. into the education system. All right, so this particular article basically talks about integration of AI into the education sphere, and also Pradhan has been mentioned here. So Dharmendra Pradhan is our Union Education Minister. To remember this. All right. Another thing, this is the name I wanted to flag for you all, that Gopur Numaligarh project. This is going to be India's first road cum rail tunnel in the Brahmaputra river. All right. So this is India's first underwater road cum rail tunnel in Brahmaputra river. And this is right now, as of now, proposed. And whenever it undertakes, it is built. So it will be the first one in India. And naturally, it is being undertaken in the state of Assam. Okay. So do keep in mind that also. Then the Israeli foreign minister, Gideon Saar, he has agreed to be a part of Trump's first meeting of Board of Peace. Board of Peace was proposed by Donald Trump just a month back, where he seeks to bring in other countries to bring to peaceful resolutions international conflicts. As of now, it is focusing on the Israel-Palestine war, but otherwise also it will be later also being undertaken resolution of international disputes. Okay, so he is going to be a part of it, and the ex-officio chairperson of the Board of Peace will always be Donald Trump. India was also an invitee to it, but as of now, India has not given a full-fledged decision, has not said a yes to be a member of the Board of Peace. Okay. And just again, I wanted to flag the term FDI for you all. FDI stands for foreign direct investment. Through FDI, international companies, they set up offices in India, and the purpose of setting up this office is to increase in employment opportunities in the country and add to the economic development and GDP of the country. So any international company, when it sets up offices in India, this resulting in increasing employment opportunities, increasing income levels, increasing economic development of the country is termed as FDI. All right. Okay. Then another piece of news, just wanted to flag it to you all again, that Iran as of now is under political upheaval, where the people are protesting to remove the Ayatollah regime and reinstate the previous monarchy, which was under the Shah Pahlavi dynasty. So Prince Pahlavi, who is naturally in exile, he's outside Iran. His father fled in 1979. So he is also asking the world to stand in support of Iran, to resulting in the ousting of the Ayatollah and reinstatement of a democratic system back in Iran. Okay, so do keep that in mind. And that was all for today's newspaper analysis. It was pretty nice and short. Nothing much for you all to read and do today. So do go through the newspaper, and I'll see you all tomorrow with the next one. Thank you.